respect, this is not about pointing the finger. We are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
So Stephen A. had to show her who was the real boss.
I don't appreciate where you're going with that. My issue is all of this being publicized.
Thank you. Thank you. Check her ass. That's the issue. The fact that this got blown up out of proportion because he had, again, a consensual affair with a coworker. The fact that this got blown up all over the place is the fact that this dude, the fact that Ime Udoka got thrown under the fucking bus. This shows how fucking pussy society is now. He lost his job over an affair, consensual affair, and everybody made him out like he committed an R word, like he assaulted somebody. No, this woman, by the way, the woman, let me find this real quick. See, now this is convenient. The New York, this is courtesy of the New York Post. Udoka was suspended for the 2022-2023 season for violating team policy, which was due to an inappropriate and consensual relationship with a female member of the Celtics staff. The Celtics have not revealed the woman's identity. It's funny that they chose not to reveal her identity. Like, why not? She consented to them fucking. She said yes to this. So why is she not being dragged in the fucking mud? Why is it just Ime? Why? Because just because he's the head coach of the fucking Celtics? So the fuck what? That doesn't, to me, that doesn't mean shit. Ugh, like, fuck. Like, they're adults for crying out loud, but they're fucking adults. You're telling me that in 2023, adults who work together can't fuck? If they wanted to? I get it. With some people, that's like you don't shit where you eat. Okay, but humans are gonna do what humans are gonna do. And at the end of the day, if two people like each other and they want to fuck, and they work with each other, so fucking be it. Who gives a shit?
Trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me.
He's talking. Stop interrupting. He's talking.
Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my
damn right.
However, when discussing the same topic on Malika's show, things went a little different with Kendrick Perkins.
This relationship that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual.
Yes.
That this woman actually played a part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserved that, and whatever else follows, I hate it.
No, he didn't. I'm sorry. I disagree with that. No, he didn't. I honestly, he didn't deserve to lose his job. He deserved. Look, should he have gotten suspended? Yeah, maybe for some games. Yeah, but that's all that should have happened. He lost his goddamn job, for crying out loud.
But he put himself in this position. But why are the other people getting left off the hook?
Yes.
That's the problem that I have right now. Everybody got to be held accountable.
Stop. First of all, stop interrupting. That's not what you're supposed to do, Malika. Stop interrupting. Let the man talk. First of all, again, you are... Look, hosts have opinions, right? But as the host, think of it this way, right? Think of it this way. Think of it as a basketball team right now, right? Malika is essentially the fucking point guard, right? She's supposed to basically feed questions to all of her co-hosts to basically get pertinent information, whatever the fuck, an opinion out there, right? But for the most part, she's not supposed to have a fucking opinion for the most part. But What she's doing right now is fucking, it's rude. It's beyond fucking rude.
It's unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because
it is not.
Well, I'm not speculating.
Sure.
It's not a speculation.
I'm not speculating.
That whatever rule, the conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side.
How? How is it not? How is it not the same for the other side? Please explain that. How is it not the same for the other side? If Ime Udoka lost his fucking job because of this, then the unidentified Celtic staffer should have lost her job too, and she didn't. It's not the fucking same. Equality. You want equality. This is not fucking equality.
I thank you for your perspective.
Although it's easy to point the finger at Malika, the reality of the situation goes deeper and may only point to Malika Andrews as merely just a messenger. Because the truth is...
And here's this, and you know what? That's another thing. I don't know necessarily if this video is titled exactly correctly, Malika Andrews, the puppet of ESPN basketball. Like, I don't know, because of course she's reading off a fucking teleprompter. I don't know if she's being fed this shit through a teleprompter, through whatever producer is in her ear. I don't know. I don't know if this is her actual, or if this is her actual fucking opinion. But like it's such a blurry line. Like, you really don't know who to point the finger at. But I will say this: if this is the work of, if she is being a quote unquote puppet for ESPN, she should know better. She should have some sort of forethought to know that what she's saying isn't right. And if this is actually how she feels, then she should have joined the fucking long line of people that have gotten laid off.
Malika Andrews fits in perfectly as the ideal candidate to promote the woke or feminist narrative that most media tend to push. I think these clips of Jalen Rose may just prove this.
We know his name. Maybe I'm missing something as it relates to the law, but why we don't know her name?
Yes.
It's not like she's a minor. I feel like we should know her name publicly.
Yes.
After openly sharing his potentially controversial opinion, Rose would swiftly make an apology soon.
And I remember seeing that shit, like, when I tell you I was so fucking disgusted seeing that shit live. Like, the fact that he makes a valid fucking opinion, and not even 10 minutes later, he has to come on TV and make a fucking apology over a valid fucking opinion. Like, it's disgusting, man. It is. It's fucking disgusting.
Soon after, taking back everything he said.
And I would like to apologize for a comment I made earlier on NBA
Look
Countdown.
at this, having to grovel to the fucking, having to grovel to the mob.
Alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public.
I think it's pretty obvious what ESPN thought about his initial statements. And after assistant coach Joe Mazzulla was named interim coach after Udoka's suspension, this is what Malika said to welcome him.
Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar.
What a fucking asshole. What a fucking... How could you... How... Again, I have to stress, I really have to ask, again, is she being fed this shit from ESPN, or is she blatantly making this shit known? Because, again, who do you point the finger at? Who do you point the finger at?
You might be wondering, is Malika okay? How does it make sense to bring up someone's criminal history from 13 years ago?
Yeah.
In a situation where no crimes were committed under the law? However, when considering Malika's recent comments made about Brandon Miller, a clear yet disturbing pattern is becoming evident. To add to this, around a month after the Ime Udoka situation, during a segment reporting on the death of former Michigan State player Adrian Payne, this is what Malika had to say about Payne.
Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida. Played 4 seasons in the NBA with multiple teams. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved in an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010. No charges were filed in that case.
Again,
wow, what a fucking asshole. Wow, the man just died. The man just fucking died. And here you are, shitting on him, talking about, oh my god, talking about how he was named in a fucking shoot. So what? So he died. What? Oh Lord, have mercy. Ugh.
Again, the pattern of unnecessarily airing out the criminal history of black men during a time of vulnerability continues. So the question remains. Did she speak these words of her own accord, or was she just reading from a script? If she indeed chose to bring up this incident unprompted, it reveals a deep-rooted hatred towards black men.
Yep.
If she didn't, then it brings up a deeper issue within the roots of the organization. Regardless, this doesn't take from the fact that Malika is the one making these absurd and damaging statements. Following this statement, it wouldn't be long until Malika Andrews' antics on television would again turn heads. While welcoming Jalen Rose back during a segment of a show, this happened.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just...
I don't believe this shit happened. Personally, I don't believe this happened. I don't think that Jalen Rose stuck his fingers underneath her fucking arms. Like, I don't know. This just sounds. It sounds silly. It sounds too silly for me to believe.
Happy to see Jalen Rose. Welcome.
As you can clearly see, Jalen's hand is by no means under Malika's arm.
Exactly.
And even if it was, why does that need to be brought up on the spot in such an accusatory manner? Nevertheless, another baseless accusation by Malika, and Jalen Rose had to find out the hard way. To add to these two instances involving Ime Udoka and Adrian Payne, more recently, Malika Andrews would bring up an alleged Brandon Miller incident on draft night.
His name did surface in court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been indicted for capital murder.
Many claim this as unnecessary and undoubtedly an attempt to punish Miller's.
It's funny. I gotta bring up another video, because it's funny how she, it's funny how she talks about, about black men like this.
It's the 2023 NBA draft, and the ESPN crew is doing their normal coverage on.
So, let me pull this up here real quick. Wait a minute. Properties. All right. All right. So.
Do not go to FabLetters.com. Do not take our historically low offer. 2 for 24 shorts,
we
1 for 20.
It's in 2020.
All right, so this is courtesy of. Just want to make sure this is courtesy of Specs Media on YouTube. And let me get to that part.
Pick in this year's draft.
For domestic battery.
I just want to get to.
So this is Joe Mazzulla, but I'm not done. Let's go back a little bit further. Adrian Payne was
and he was just 30 in that case.
I cannot begin to explain why this is messed up. Once again, he wasn't fucking charged. They were literally allegations. Not to mention, that's not why he got waived. In his final season, he played 5 games and was barely in the rotation. So once again, she brought up an old case with zero relevance. Now let's compare this tribute to another dead person that she talked about. A writer for the Mavericks by the name of Jonathan Tjarks died, and Malika Andrews talked about it on the show in a very different tone.
I do want to take a moment to acknowledge Jonathan Tjarks, an NBA writer for The Ringer, who died over the weekend after a battle with a rare form of cancer. And he was just 35 years old. Tjarks wrote extensively about the Mavericks, and we at NBA Today send our heartfelt condolences to his wife, Melissa, and his son Jackson and his entire family.
The way she talks about these two people are in very different ways. Now, Charkson.
Yeah, where's the respect for where was that respect for you that got shot? Where was that level of respect for him? Both people lost their lives, and for one, you gave great admiration to. The other, you fucking denigrated on his way into the ground. Nice.
Didn't have anything dirty about him to talk about, but someone that had some allegations towards him was Luke Walton. Luke Walton was hired by the Mavericks as an assistant coach, and of course ESPN was going to talk about it. Just like Mazzulla, they had to talk about a coaching hire. In 2019, Luke Walton had been accused of sexual assault to a sports reporter around 3 years before he joined the Cavs. You'd think Malika would have a lot to say about this because it involves sexual assault on a reporter. Well, let's see how she talked about it.
Cavaliers, they are hiring Luke Walton as an assistant coach. That's according to ESPN senior insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Walton joins Coach J.B. Bickerstaff's staff. Say that 10 times fast. After spending the past 5+ seasons as head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and Sacramento Kings, Walton, who was dismissed after a 6-11 start with the Kings in November, was part of an NBA championship coaching staff.
Really? Okay, so you just spent so much time shitting on Ime Udoka for what was, again, let me put this out there again, for what was a consensual affair between two consenting adults. But Luke Walton, who you just heard, let's play that again.
Start with the Kings, Lakers, and Cavaliers.
Because it involved her around 3 years before he joined the team. Luke Walton had been accused of sexual assault to a sports reporter around 3 years before he joined the Cavs. You would think Malika would have a lot to say about this because it involves sexual assault on a reporter. Well, let's see how she talked about it.
Cavaliers, they are hiring Luke Walton as an assistant coach. That's according to ESPN senior insider Adrian Wojnarowski.
Where's the reporter and the sexual assault?
After spending the past 5+ seasons as head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and Sacramento Kings,
is she gonna say any of that?
Dismissed after a 6-11 start with the Kings in November, was part of an NBA championship coaching staff with Golden State under Steve Kerr in 2015.
There is a clear-cut difference between how she talks about Luke Walton and how she talks about Joe Mazzulla. Mind you, these were months apart, so why she decided to have a different attitude with Mazzulla starts to make sense.
Oh, Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla.
I wish I could stop the video and let you come to your own conclusion, which would probably not be on Malika's side. But there's another case that I've never talked about involving yet another black man in Jalen Rose. About 2 months ago, Jalen Rose appeared on NBA.
We saw this. But it's just it's interesting how, and I feel like ESPN I feel like they did this on purpose in a way. I feel like they're trying to compete almost with what are now left-wing and right-wing sports outlets. Like left-wing, like TYT Sports, and the right-wing, you now have Outkick, and ESPN has now become sort of the left-wing sports outlet. And just the fact that that is even a thing it's disappointing. Because I thought sports was supposed to bring people together, but apparently not. Now we're separating. Now we're using sports to separate people. It's kind of sad. This whole Jonah Hill thing, I have no knowledge of, but a lot of people have been